Pennefather from Untitled ICT, and I'm here with our principal consultant Justin Wyatt, who's our specialist in all things wireless and especially LTE and 4G. Hi Justin.
Hi Greg.
A lot of our clients have been asking us about 5G and where that fits into their strategy. What is 5G and what should they be thinking about?
Yeah, that's a great question. 5G, what is it, or maybe what isn't it? A lot of people tend to think of 4G and 5G as technologies in themselves, but really they're a group of performance requirements. They tend to actually be multiple technologies, or could be multiple technologies. For example, in the 4G space, LTE has actually been the technology that is dominant in the carrier world, but there were also several networks that were installed using other technologies such as WiMAX. For 5G, 5G is not a confirmed or doesn't have a confirmed technology at this point in time. However, LTE that's used in 4G is not a static technology, and the view at the moment is that LTE will evolve into a technology that actually becomes a 5G technology. So how are they actually going to achieve this? There are a lot of improvements that are going to be made in terms of features, things like adding more antennas and having more MIMO capability, using beamforming, and also coordinated multipoint will get the most out of the existing bandwidth that base stations use. However, the major area is in increasing the amount of bandwidth that will be available in the channel for each user. Unfortunately, this means that you're going to need to purchase a lot more spectrum. So for a carrier, this makes perfect sense. There's a good business case for this. They're used to this. And the regulation is very much set up here in Australia, at least, to support them buying that spectrum, often Australia-wide. For private enterprise, that's less likely, and therefore it's highly unlikely that the technology that you would install as a private company, even though it's 5G, that it would obtain the performance of a 5G network. So if you're thinking about installing or waiting to install a 5G network instead of a 4G network, right now, if you were to install a 4G network using LTE technology, it's highly likely that you would be able to make some improvements over time and move towards that 5G network, but you may never actually achieve it unless you can obtain the amount of spectrum required.
How likely are they going to be to get that spectrum?
Under the current regulation, it's very unlikely. So unless the ACMA and the government decide to change that regulation, it's extremely unlikely that private enterprise will get access to the 100 megahertz or so per channel that they would require for a 5G network.
So really, 4G is a good technology to put in today and has a good future, and 5G is probably something for the carriers.
Yeah, I would say that for the moment that is the position that we would take. Yeah.
Thank you, Justin. That's great. If you'd like us to do a little bit more information on this, a newsletter article or a white paper, leave some comments below and we'll get onto it. Again, this is Greg and Justin at Untitled ICT. Thanks for your time.